start by searching 1985 Linux.
Perfect. What's up, HVAC crew? We are currently in hardcore R&D mode for an article that Dennis and I just discovered this evening. So while he gets to Googling, you guys enjoy that sweet intro music. Let's get this show going. So let's get it going.
Yeah, come on.
Sultry. All right, so welcome back, everybody. So normally we get into a whole intro rigmarole, but we are so intrigued by this absolutely ridiculous TikToker's article about magically discovering that she should do maintenance on her equipment to save massive amounts of money on her power bill that we just can't stop digging into it.
TikTok made me do it.
Yep, TikTok made us do it. I feel like we should be referring a lot of this to a HVAC reefer guy for some Friday fakery.
Okay, so we're going to start with this TikTok article, but before I can get into this ridiculousness, I'm going to have to get a beer going.
Yeah. You go first.
Really? You want me to go first?
I don't care.
All right, so tonight, to get it going here, I'm going to drink something cold.
Good idea.
Okay, that's the name of it.
Always positive.
That is the name of this beer. It's Edmunds Oast Brewing Company.
Nice.
I'm trying to read the can here. So it's called something cold, and it's got an old school fridge on it. The old chrome and white fridge. It's a blonde ale. It's Charleston, South Carolina, looking like 5.5%. Big tall can. The new style, like paper labels they stick on there. Let's see what we got here. He tried to cut me off with his snort.
He did.
All right, here we go. Oh, that was good timing on that.
That was pretty solid.
So yeah, something cold. Edmunds Oast.
Edmunds Oast. Is it
Pictures to come.
Is it tasty?
Blonde ale. Yep.
I like it. Dennis does like a good blonde.
Yeah. Very true.
Cheers, Tracy.
That's right.
All right. Well,
there you go. Right out of the chute there.
Right out of the chute.
Let me guess it.
What do you think?
That sounded just like it sounded like a small can. I feel like it might be a hitchhiker.
No, actually, no, I'm just kidding. I should have just went into like some long rant about like 20 different types of pie that were stuffed into this one can. No, it is hitchhiker night tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Dennis knows me all too well.
Yep. It sounded like a good light beer.
Good cerveza.
So yeah, I feel like we could you could always throw this in an episode. Of course, was it last week we had the or maybe the week before we had the umbrella over the unit TikTok series?
No, it was last week. because it was not with Sarah. It was the episode after, so it was last week. I've almost drank enough to forgot about that, but no, it's still there.
So I think I'm going to hook all my data logger, amp draw, wattage, fill piece, wireless probe kit, get all that on my unit, and then put my beach umbrella over it.
Nice.
Start really recording some data here. I just don't think you're going to get nothing out of that.
I don't either, but you know what? We are HVAC R&D, and we
could be research and development.
It could be, and here lately we felt like just digging into some more interesting topics. So, myth busting and debunking fakery is right up our alley.
Well, no, this article we're about to read,
there's a lot of truth to it, and the article is real. There are a lot of truths to it. There's also a lot of bullshit to it.
Well, I think it's only comical when an HVAC
that's true
person reads it.
It is. Right? It's true. That's true. I'll say that. So through the HVAC eyes, I almost said through HVAC know-it-all eyes, but I'm not McCready by any means.
Right.
So, all right, so let's get into it. So this article is called, it says, Cutting Costs. I cut my energy bill in half by doing 3 air conditioning cleaning tricks. See how you can do it too.
Tricks.
So these are tricks.
Tricks of the trade.
So your air conditioner likely adds more charges to your electric bill than any other appliance in your home. The U.S. Department of Energy, or DOE, reported that air conditioners use about 6% of all the electricity produced in the United States. That's an annual cost of about $29 billion to homeowners.
I feel like 6% might be a little higher. Air conditioners use about 6% of all electricity produced.
Well, I mean, you got to think about the amount of industrial air conditioning going on.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these things that Foodie and HVAC Doctor can crawl in and take a nap in on the roof while they're up there.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like 6% is not high enough.
Maybe not.
Anyway.
We digress.
So you got the first picture you come to. It's a really close up of an outdoor condenser. All you see is the coil.
Yep.
And the other half of the coil is covered up by what looks to be a piece of cardboard.
It's kind of like a wool jacket.
It's like paper mache.
Yeah, it's time to shave the sheep. Shear your sheep.
It's so bad. It's almost as well. It's. I tell you what, it's worse than HVAC Foodie. That picture he had a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I mean, so this lady is peeling this off. She's scraping it off.
And now so the unit, obviously she has removed the wire wrap, or someone has removed the wire wrap around this thing so you can take this picture.
Yeah. So it says TikTok user,
whatever her name is.
Mizra's, Mizra's can't be bothered. That's her handle. Discovered that she was spending more on energy because her central air unit was dirty, making it work less efficiently. First of all, it would not have ran at all with this on there.
No, there's no way.
We're going to have to drop some of this on the...
Yep.
Well, in the meantime, while she's trying to scrape it off, she's flattening all the fins out.
Yep.
It's that bad.
Hey, don't worry. There's a trick for that, too.
Yeah, it's like a putty knife, scraping it off.
So, all right. So if you have a central air system with an outdoor unit, one simple mistake could be costing you hundreds over the course of the summer. Ms. Can't Be Bothered posted a video on TikTok explaining that she realized she needed to clean her unit and said her bill was reduced by nearly 50% after the maintenance work.
Yeah,
that 50%
was dirty too.
50%, yeah. She broke down the process into 3 simple steps. After turning her unit off so she could work safely on it, the person who runs the account, What? That didn't make sense. Began cleaning off the dust and dirt that had accumulated around her AC coil. She purchased a fin tool to carefully comb through the coil and scrape off the layer of grime. So apparently, the fin tool. Oh, well, here you go. The fin tool not only clears away built up dust, but it also keeps the coil's fins from bending and blocking airflow. Now, I have never known someone to use the fin comb to clean the unit too. That's a first.
No, that's what I mean. It's that bad.
Now it says after getting most of the dust off the fins, she then applied a foaming fin cleaner to the inside of the unit, rinsed with water to eliminate more dirt. While it's safe to use water to clean your AC unit, avoid using chemical solutions that weren't specifically made for air conditioners. That's a good tip right there. So, good on you for that one, homeowner.
Yep.
According to Hustle, harsh chemicals like ammonia and bleach
Hustle
can damage
magazine?
it. I don't know. There's a link to it. Here, hold on. I'll click the link. Let's see.
Geez, don't click on that.
Well, it says according to Hustle, and it goes to a website called Hunker. We could just go.
I'm gonna get a virus clicking on all this,
dude. This is definitely a fakery Friday. You should see how clean this guy's tools are. I mean, he literally just took them out of the plastic and put them in this bag to sit on top of this unit. 4 chemicals that ruin outdoor air conditioning units: caustic ammonia, cleaners with chlorine, any type of bleach, acid, and alkaline solvents. All right, well, Hunker is not Hustle, so bad on you, managing editor.
Click on Hustle, that was just disappointing.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so...
Lastly, she also reached into the unit and pulled out any sticks, leaves, or other debris that had fallen past the fan blades. So it's interesting that she somehow knew how to completely take her unit apart. I know plenty of people that take units apart and sure as hell don't get them back together by themselves, let alone a random homeowner. So let's see. Like the dust on the fins, the debris limited airflow and prevents the AC from working as efficiently as it could. When she was done, the newly clean unit was almost unrecognizable, and the savings followed quickly. Spoiler, my energy bill is already 50% less. How could it be?
I'm sure it is.
How can it be already? I mean, literally, like the same day you clean it, it's not magically 50% better immediately.
So when you scroll on down, it shows her newly cleaned
unit, that
1987 Linux.
Yes,
and it is extremely old. It's got to be
it's ancient,
10 SEER or under.
I don't think it's even 10. There's no way.
I don't think it's 10.
8.
I don't know what year Linux
8-ish.
had the 10. 8, yeah. I mean, so her power bill, went from 600 to 520.
Hey, you know that you can save about $100 if you unplug appliances that consume electricity when turned off. $100.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get to unplugging. Here's how much running a fan overnight will cost you. All right, I gotta quit.
Yeah, so
I'm going back to my beer.
Yeah, quit reading that. All right, so my neighbor over here, so we'll be out back. I'll be trying to cook a little something back here, and I'll hear this, and it's just awful. The outdoor unit is awful. So this is what happens. There's a company that services it. It probably 3 months. Every 3 months, this company comes by. I'm not naming the company, obviously, but they come by. They're a large company. They take this outdoor unit completely apart. I'm talking strip it down. And there's just parts laying everywhere. They put it all back together. Probably 2 hours later, they leave. Soap suds out here in the yard or, everywhere. I mean, it's clean. But, dude, every screw on this thing is stripped out. It's literally just a skeleton of a unit over here, just barely hanging on. And when it comes on, everything in it vibrates. Um, so there's something to be said about that, right? Like, I don't know. There's certain brands when I was in the field and I was cleaning, like there's certain brands you just can't keep taking apart over and over and over. They just won't
Yeah, they
hold
can't
up.
take it.
And you can't just keep going up in size on the screws, right? Like,
No.
can you go from quarter to 5/16? Sure. What's after that? You know, you gonna start putting some 3/8 bolts in there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Washers and everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything on this unit stripped out. I guarantee I could go over there with my hand and just take all the screws off of it. No drill. Just thumb them. Just take them right
Zip
out.
ties and super glue.
But they come, it's got to be 3 months. And they'll come in between to fix a repair. I mean, it's tired. It's done. The problem is it's only like 3 years old. They put it in 3 years ago.
Jesus.
I know. So is taking it apart and cleaning it every 2 or 3 months, is that making it worse? I mean, is that debatable?
I guess it probably is debatable at some point. Not everything was built for the old rapid
I mean, structurally,
fire.
right? Yeah. The refrigeration cycle ain't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but all right. So we've obviously we don't have a guest, and we don't have a whole lot of notes going on.
I don't know. I keep feeling like some crazy animal is going to pop out of the side of Riker, the noises he's making. So we might have like an alien baby over here in a minute. I don't know.
Riker's sawing some logs back there.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So did you get into anything this week?
So
distribution wise, or I mean, any updates?
I did see some announcements for a little bit of new product information on our builder grade line this week.
Yeah,
so I saw some info coming out on that. I know we saw some stuff from Big Blue this week also. I know you forwarded some of that around today.
I was gonna say, so I follow. Obviously, we have the brand that we represent. Most of y'all know what it is. We try not to say it out on here, but so I usually subscribe, and everybody on this show should do the same, right? I subscribe to as many newsletters as I can, whether it be, I mean, I'll throw, whether it's Johnstone, Ari Michael, and these are all in our local area, but ACHR News, you got, I'm subscribed to a little Carrier newsletters. It kind of lets you know what's going on in the industry, right? Because I'm subscribed to a guy that's a technician, that's a tech support guy. He's in, when I went to Rochester. I went up there, right? I got his card. He works for Johnstone Supply New England, and he does Tech Tuesday. Every Tuesday, he sends out something, right? How to read a reversing valve, how to, troubleshoot a TXV, other than replace it. And so, my email just comes in all the time with all this stuff. And if you're just a tech out there and you're working for a company and y'all put one brand in, you got to subscribe to any newsletter, and you go to Supply House like, hey, do y'all put something out? Does y'all's tech guy do something? I highly recommend that. That being said, today I got an email that was from Carrier, and I think this is going to be across the board, but can't say for sure. But the 2023 heat pumps down here in our region, right?
It's looking,
2-stage.
Yeah, it's looking,
the base.
It's looking that way across most of the board from what I see.
Yeah, 2-stage heat pump is base tier. Everybody's doing kind of a 3-tier setup.
Now, and I know some brands are re-rating existing product that will make the new ratings, but
Well, we heard that, right? That's
I still
months
don't know.
ago.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I mean, I heard 3 or 4 months ago that Carrier was going to do that, and now today,
Yep.
right? I mean, maybe they had to go back to the drawing board. Either way, I mean,
A lot of
2
things are
stage is
changing.
going to be the base tier,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of stuff's changing.
And the builder grade has still gotta line up.
Well, and the builder grade, from what we see, it looks like builder grade is going to be 2-stage base too on heat pump.
Well, that's what I mean. They can't just
So
you can't make everything go up in SEER and then you got this builder grade that you can just sell the shit out of,
Yep.
and it's just like 13 SEER.
Yep.
I mean, that ain't gonna work. I do remember Goodman had the old nitrogen filled unit that they kind of
oh yeah, the old dry charge.
I put so many of those in.
I sold more
That was
dry
old.
charge commercial stuff, I feel like, almost than I did residential. I sold a ton.
Oh, that was a rental special.
Yeah, I sold a ton of freaking dry commercial stuff when I worked in Greenville, in South Carolina.
Yeah, and also, right, and this is some of the stuff you deal with on the sales side, right?
Yep.
But Goodman, I'll just use them as an example, but they got this air handler, they got this coal it's got a piston in it, right? Well, you're supposed to purchase the external TXV and install that so that it gets 14 SEER.
Yeah, but none of these supply houses, well, okay,
They can't make you buy it, right? Like, I don't know what the deal
the
with that is.
majority of people, they don't do it. Now,
Well, they don't buy it, which means what? That air handler is now what, $100 cheaper?
That's it.
Or more.
That's it. So
So
and then they come in, wanting me to sell what I sell for, the same price. I'm like, well, I can't. Mine has more stuff in it than yours does because it's actually doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, it's rated out of the box. I mean, it's ready to go.
Yep, that's it. And if you look at, you look at all the rating sheets for these, for Goodman or for anybody else, it tells you in the rating that it's supposed to have a TXV. The homeowner doesn't know. They can give that sheet to the homeowner, like, yeah, it's 14 SEER. Okay, thanks. They don't know.
Well, and they got the sticker on the outside unit that says 14 SEER.
Yeah, and that's half the problem too. Because if it's not matched up correctly, that's not going to matter anyway.
No. Man, I put many of those external TXVs on. I didn't mind it that much, except for they had the little insulation. It was like a barrel, like a cup you just put around it to insulate it, because it's just hanging outside in the attic or whatever. Yeah, just kind of cumbersome. Doesn't really look good.
I never really understood that design because it doesn't really protect much of anything.
I mean, it's just, it's not good.
But hey, man, stack them deep, sell them cheap. There you go.
Stack them deep, sell them cheap. Yep. So where was we going with that? Well, yeah. So
not everybody is going to build units that are created equal.
Some of the mid tier, the middle of the road heat pumps coming down the line are 3-stage.
Oh yeah, like stuff that you saw was like the top of the line for some people is just going to be run of the middle tier of the road stuff.
Yeah, 16 SEER.
Yeah,
I mean, and then above that you're going to have your 20 SEER or very true variable speed. I feel like everybody's going to have some kind of side discharge coming out. There's a lot of that coming down the pipeline. Maybe some dumbed down inverter stuff from.
Yep, we see that stuff coming too from multiple different bigger manufacturers. We're seeing second generations of a lot of that stuff coming out too.
So that being said, subscribe to some newsletters, follow all you can. get home, sit on your couch, and read install manuals like I do.
Yeah.
Or what is
or listen
what
to
is
this show and us read you the news.
what is what does the doctor call them? RTFM.
Oh, read the FM manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, RTFM.
I told Tracy the other night. I said, when we go to the pool on Saturdays, we got a little public, our neighborhood pool. I walk through there and I see people sitting over there, obviously don't have kids, and they're just reading a book. And I said, you know what? I could straight bring like a 20-SEER inverter manual down here and just read it. I said, I don't have no desire to read like nonfiction stuff, man. I don't know why. I just never have. Like, I always felt like if I'm going to read, I want to get something out of it.
Or you mean fiction stuff?
Fiction. Sorry, fiction. Yeah, I don't want to read a story about somebody that's not even real. I mean, that's just me. But if I want to do that, I'm going to watch the movie. Right? Like,
unless there's not one.
So I'll sit, she'll go to sleep and I'll be trying to wind down either after the podcast or something. And I'll just go down a rabbit hole with some HVAC, like, I don't know, like something out of ACHR News or TikTok, umbrellas over the outdoor unit. I don't know. I just start, I feel like I got to get something. I got to use my brain for something besides just, I know you like to read.
Well, but honestly, I can't think the last time I actually read something that was fiction.
Just a book? Just read it?
No, like I've read just mostly just business stuff.
Yeah, articles.
Yeah, I'll read articles, and then I read, I honestly want to read that marketing and branding book we got when we were in Vegas, because that guy honestly was a really good speaker.
Oh yeah, it's on my nightstand. I keep looking at it, going, I should probably read that.
Yeah, Rohit.
Yep, Rohit.
Yeah, marketing and branding without a big budget.
That's who we need to have on the show.
That's right.
Speaking of that, you want to? I feel like I want to tell everybody who we might be having on the show.
Oh, go for it. We can talk about that.
Oh no, that's your job.
Well, who do you want me to?
I mean, you want to tell them who we got coming up? Maybe.
Yeah, we can. So,
we don't have to throw dates out there.
Yeah, won't throw dates, but we do have pending episodes coming with an up and up at Global to Source. A little foreshadowing on that one. We've talked about that one happening for a while. It's about time it did. Yep. And then we have another member of a famous duo in New Jersey coming on the show. We've had one of them. We've discussed at length his turkey experience. So we're bringing his other kind of his Boilermaker partner to the show. And then we've got a female owner coming on the show. I want to say names, but I don't. I actually like leaving you guys a little bit in the dark. Just a little bit. Build the anticipation.
So...
And then another one that's a much more 50-50 at the moment, but we also have a pending president of a massive company maybe coming on the show too. So a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, that company is changing the game, man.
Yep.
So I was going to go over what I did tonight. Big Time Wednesday.
Yes.
I got some pictures I'll post, but when's the last time you played a little music bingo?
I I don't know if I've played any music bingo at the old bar.
Of course, I didn't win shit, but yeah, we had a. So my brother-in-law and his wife and my kid, Kylie, is their kids and Kylie. They're all up in Cherokee. So we had kidless night, and we all went to the little town tavern. They had music bingo and little happy hour. I did not win anything.
That's a rarity for Dennis, by the way, everybody.
No, it was crushing, man. I was like, God. Yeah, I'm a pretty competitive guy.
A little bit.
Unfortunately, we had death in the family. So Friday I'll be going down to Columbia, but it's a celebration. You know the deal. Everybody's getting together. I'm going to cook some Boston butts, and I'm going to get foodie. I done sent him I done DM'd him. He's gonna get a pellet grill before it's over.
It's coming.
If he ever eats anything off a pellet grill, he's done. I mean, McCready's got a pellet grill. Like, what else do you need?
That's true.
I seen McCready posted him cleaning his. I look like he might have had a Traeger.
I need to put one on my freaking porch and to see if I get in trouble.
Dude, I got one you can put on your porch. I've got a tailgater version that I take.
The trigger gator.
The tray gator. The brand is like A Smoke. That's just what it says. A Smoke.
A Smoke.
And it's it's probably 2 foot wide, maybe 18 inches deep.
Nice.
That's small.
That's perfect for
you and her.
Me and her and my fur children.
I can probably put 10 burgers on it.
Nice.
I mean, it's big enough. We take it, camping, or I can actually plug it in my truck. It doesn't use hardly any power. A little generator on my truck, but yeah, I need to let you try it out for a couple weekends. Holds like 7 pounds of pellets. I mean, you can cook a Boston butt on it for 10, 12 hours and not put pellets in it.
Well, I can't go anywhere right now anyway with old freaking bionic limb in there.
Oh, shit break.
Oh, shit break. Got it.
What's the update on him?
So, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, last week our youngest fur child decided to take a leap off the top of the bed onto his other brother, and when he landed, broke his radius and ulna, which are his forearm bones, in his right leg, her right front leg.
Yeah, you say that like we know what those bones are.
I say that because
he broke his leg.
Because my wife speaks freaking anatomy, even though she's not a doctor.
You said that to me, and I'm like, so did he break his leg, or
so his front right leg? But since it's his front ones, they give it the names of what would be in a human arm. Trust me, I screwed it up the first time too. I said leg bones, and I got corrected immediately. But he broke.
So the front legs of a dog are his arms?
Technically.
Okay.
Technically.
I mean, that's clearing that up for me. I wasn't aware of that.
I guess.
Yeah, he can't pick nothing up with his back feet.
Exactly. So anyway, he broke these 2 bones. He snapped them about 1 inch back from his paw joint. So they have to put his whole front right leg is in a splint, including his paw. So like it looks like he's got his leg in a club, and he would just beat you with it. Which whenever he figures out he can use that thing as a weapon, I feel sorry for his brothers. But the sap,
does it slow him down at all, or is he running around?
Dude, I have to send you videos. This little sapsucker is wide open already. Like, I can't keep him still. Like, I keep waiting for him to bust it. Like, I meant to show you a video that Kristen had sent me. He was like walking in front of her from the other bedroom, and just walking, he slipped because the little thing slipped, and he just like face plants. He's like,
oh boy.
It's just, God. But so his old cast from last week was green camo, but this week's is orange camo. So it looks like a HVAC R&D cast. So it's pretty sweet. I'll have to post some pictures
Well,
of him.
orange camo is like OG going
That's right.
like deer hunting.
Yeah.
My dad used to have one of those hats. You think the deer care about that? I think it's crazy how you buy all this camo and then you put this big ass orange vest on.
I don't know. I swear there was a stand-up comedian Kristen and I watched a couple months ago that talked about all that. He's like, I'm going to spend this much money so I can go shoot something when I could have spent this much money and bought my meat.
Well,
but that's
there's
a whole
more
different to that. There's a whole lot different than that. But then the other thing he brings up is how much money you spend just to put on an orange hat so everyone else can still see you. It's like,
right.
That I don't get.
I'll tell you the one that gets me and Corey. So Corey, my dad didn't take me hunting growing up. I started like 20, 25 on my own, and I just liked sitting in the woods, right? Like, I usually used a bow or a shotgun, tried to give it some sort of a sport there. No scopes or nothing, but me and Corey would drive 2 hours to South Georgia. We had a camper, no power, no water. We had to like catch rainwater, 12-volt battery. Like, I had this thing wired like crazy, but we had solar panels and all kinds of shit.
Like a mad scientist.
Oh, yeah. It was sweet, but we wouldn't see a thing. We would stay down there all weekend. Of course, we had fun sitting around the fire, cooking, and we'd come back, and I'd be like, Corey, you want to go play 9 holes? Yeah, we'd go over here and play 9 holes. We would have to shoo the deer off the tee box. Like, get on it, get out of here. Like, swinging our clubs at him, trying to get him off the tee box so we could hit. He's like, I remember Corey being like 8 or 9, like, are you serious? Last weekend we were in South Georgia, like freezing our nuts off, and we didn't even see a squirrel.
Yeah.
We come back here and there's 25 deer on this golf course on this one hole. He's like, I'm gonna just like, he said, can we not hunt here? I'm like, no, we can't hunt out here. I was like, it's all part of the experience, Corey. It's all part of the experience. Dude, we would get in the deer stand and he would be pumped for like 7 minutes. I'd look to the left, look back to the right. He'd be snoring. He'd be out.
Yes.
I'm like, Corey, here's a deer. He's like, what? I'm like, just kidding. I hadn't seen it.
I hate you, Dad.
Yeah, he's like, what? Then he got to where he'd want to take my phone and like try to play a video game on it. Of course, we had zero service.
You're like, sorry, buddy. All you can play is Snake out here.
Yeah. And when the sun, he'd be freezing to death. And I was freezing too, but I can't say nothing, right? Because I'm the dad.
That's right.
I'm just like, God, I'm ready to get out and walk around, but I ain't going to say nothing. And he's like, you think we can get down and walk around? I'm like, yeah, I think we can do that now. Yep, here we go. Let's go. Let's get down. I got it. My blood is not flowing at all. So, yeah.
I remember having kind of those same, like, just freezing your nuts off experiences.
Did you hunt growing up?
So, we didn't hunt, or I didn't. Dad grew up in Louisiana, and he hunted, fished, everything growing up. But really,
Right.
all we ever did once he had me was we would go fish once or twice a year. We'd go to the family camp in Louisiana. So, I grew up fishing redfish in the marshes off the south coast of Louisiana. And we used to have a camp out in the Gulf, and we'd go and about a 30-minute ride out of Port Sulphur, which is about an hour and a half south of New Orleans. Like, literally about as deep as you can get in Louisiana before you just fall into the oil fields. And all those.
Did you say Port Sulphur?
Port Sulphur. And it stunk too, buddy.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
It was rough. If the breeze was blowing the wrong direction, you were not happy the whole time you were trying to get out of port. You're like, God, let's get out of here, please.
Yep.
But all that marshland was all around, like all the oil pipelines and everything that were coming back from the rigs off the coast. So they had they would have dams and different things that were blocking off these different areas of the marshes, and all those redfish would pool up in those different dams up in the marsh where it'd be 3, 4, 5 feet deep, but they'd pool up in there chasing, their little game fish.
Right.
So, I mean, we'd go find certain places and we'd hunker down, and buddy, we'd pull redfish out of the water for 2, 3 hours straight in one spot.
Oh, man.
And they were like, all right, well, this one's cooling off a little bit. You look over and you've got 3 trash pandas trying to climb in your freaking boat to take your fish. No joke. I mean, there were freaking raccoons every dang where down there. We'd move around, go to the next spot, but we'd just tear them up down there too. And then, so I mean, most of what I did was growing up fishing down there, but then we'd go in usually the week after Thanksgiving. And some years the weather was great, and then other years, God, it was cold. Holy shit, it would just be miserable.
Really? Down there?
Yeah, it could be. Because where you were, you're just, if it was like overcast and breezy in the middle of November, whew, it's cold. Because it's just the chill of that water. It could get real nice and cold.
So, God, he is crushing it.
Yeah, he is tearing it up.
So, getting back to HVAC, I think you've mentioned this before recently. Do you feel like the contractors are ready for 2023/2025? I feel like it's
I think
not
about 20% of them are maybe thinking they're close to ready. Actually, there's probably more than that think they're ready that just have no idea how ready they aren't.
Well, I just don't think people are putting out enough stuff. I keep seeing, like I said, I'm subscribed to all these newsletters, and the newsletters I get are like, are you ready for 2023? Are you ready for M1?
Yeah, right.
And they don't give you nothing.
Well, and it's like, hell, I'm still like, what are we actually calling it? Are we calling it M1? Are we calling it SEER 2? What are we actually going to settle on here?
Well,
because there's multiple different terminologies about all of it, which does nothing but confuse everybody even more.
Well, the lingo will just settle in, right?
Yeah, eventually.
It'll just settle in to be something in the South everybody says, then somebody up north will say something else, and it'll just kind of lock in. But
it's kind of like Pookie.
Yeah, Pookie / mastic.
Yeah.
I cannot call it Pookie.
No, no.
Did we ask Jeff if he called it Pookie or mastic?
Dang, I can't remember.
I think he said he knew it by Pookie.
I'm pretty sure.
Dude, you can't use Pookie down here in the South, man.
No.
I have to start pulling man cards. Start calling it Pookie.
That sounds like your old grandma's weird nickname.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
That guy's like, y'all got white and gray Pookie? I'm like, excuse me? We have mastic. I'm like, what'd you call me? So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that salesmen and distribution need to be on the up and up, but I don't know if we're getting all the info from the manufacturer like we should be.
So you say that. One of the things that I'm working on is I've got a meeting with a customer in a couple of weeks, and I've got to go through as much of what I know is changing as possible. Well,
they're going to ask you what the price is.
They're going to ask that. They want to know what the price is, which we still don't know a lot of that either. We just don't. I mean,
the factory will tell you the pricing when they are ready.
That's exactly right. And then And all
We
of
get
them,
emails that say pricing coming soon. I mean,
yeah. You're like, pricing will be available Q3. We're like, what part of Q3?
right. Q3
Just Q3,
2023.
Q3, Q4 ish. You know, because then
Q3 ish.
they start backpedaling. Well, and
Right.
you know, and some of these guys that are, you know, are looking at it. They know this change is coming. They've got, you know, they've got to start figuring out what their projections are for next year, if they can even have projections. You know, they're trying to make sure that they're prepared with, you know, their price books for their salespeople. Um, Everything's put into their software, so on and so forth. Because, you know, we all know this, that the larger your company, in most cases, a little bit more time it takes sometimes to implement a wholesale change.
Yeah, of course. I
And
mean,
yeah,
you
boys,
got to
it's
put all this, you got to upload all this stuff, right?
yep,
If you got salesmen that, or even selling techs that go out to the job, they sell a system and they pull up their iPad and they're like, line set here. Yes, we need a 2-ton, you know, furnace coil AC. All that has to be uploaded. You don't want him out there on a calculator
no,
trying to multiply the, you know, margins. And so it's all got to be uploaded. So every time there's a price increase or whatever, it's all got to be uploaded into that. And you got to have time to do that.
yeah. And at the rate that prices are changing, that time is rapidly disappearing.
Yeah, you need to swap that iPad for a dry erase, little mini dry
Yeah,
erase board.
no joke. I tell you, the last 2 years, I mean, you've seen me do it, but it's like I feel like I finally get everyone's price sheet done again, and it's like, all right, price increase announced. You know?
Right. Well, I've been reading, you know, these articles where it's like, man, this distribution or this company or this manufacturer crushed it last year or the year before or this year, but they didn't crush it because they sold more units than
Well,
last
and
year,
that's what I
right?
was going to say, because all of these big numbers that anybody is throwing up right now are all skewed as hell.
Oh
If you
yeah,
pull
big time.
inflation back out of it, it's not. There's a lot of
Well,
people.
that's not just HVAC.
No. There's so much that people don't understand. Is it ain't growing. It's been, some of it's just been flat. There's been a bit of stuff that's been flat because at some point a shortage of this or a
Well,
shortage of that prevented you from getting where you should have been.
yeah, I was gonna say the
Shortages have been ridiculous,
running flat is because of
and that's what
shortages.
I'm saying. So, you know, you have to almost kind of change. You got to change a little bit of the way you look at your metrics when you start looking at what you really did. You know, that's great. We did. You know, ABC Heat and Air did 2 million in annual revenue in 19. Then they did, you know, 3 million in 2021. But then they go look at it and they're like, well, but we sold 30 less systems in 21 than we did in 19. I'm like, yep, you're right.
Right.
But how do we make more money? I say, inflation has nothing to do with the work. It's literally just been bumped
So
up. It's crazy.
my brother-in-law tonight, we got into inflation just a little bit, sitting there drinking a couple beers, doing some music bingo, and he's worked in politics. He's got one of those jobs that, not really sure what he does, but he's been around, and I'll have to look it up. I haven't looked it up yet, but he said that Europe tried to implement a margin tax. Like, if you had this margin that you made, certain margin that normally you make, when it went over that, you were taxed differently above that margin. And some people agreed, some people disagreed. But all I could think was like, man, that would have not have worked out well this year, like
Yeah.
in HVAC. When you went above that, so I don't know. I got to research that a little bit, but I don't know if that'd fly over here.
Well, but the headache is
it's interesting around the world how all that's approached.
Well, but the headache is like our margins really haven't changed. Our costs have went up drastically.
Right.
But our margins really haven't changed much, if at all.
No, your margin is your margin.
Everybody's got
your business.
Yeah.
Well, unless your business changes, right?
Yep.
Like internally, you add 10 people, your margin may have to change.
Yep.
To accommodate or something like that. But all right, so my brain's hurting. We got to get into
your brain's hurting.
My brain's hurting, dude. Jeez, oh Pete.
Well,
I was trying to think if I had any tech calls this week.
Dude, I died the one you sent me.
I
died the one you sent me.
Oh, that's what I gotta play that.
Chris and Cajun Joe.
Okay. Tech call of the day. So a little backstory. Ryan's dad, Cajun Joe, the one and only. His little compadre, his right hand man, is Crisscross Applesauce. Best technician ever.
And there's a whole episode dedicated to Crisscross Applesauce. Just go back and find it. It's back there.
We haven't had him on the show yet. I don't know if we could get through a whole show with him on here.
If you go on our Instagram page and you click the I think it's got the V on it right now, but whichever one is friends, I think the very first or second video is me introducing Crisscross Applesauce to the world. So if you want to know who we're talking about, go find him.
Yeah, he's a mountain man. He's got a 2-foot beard. He's actually pretty sharp on the phone.
He does have a manometer.
No, I mean he's sharp.
No,
when I go to talk to him, he's checked everything I'm trying to ask him. But the reason why he is Crisscross Applesauce is because he put in a 2-head mini split system, multi-head, and he crisscrossed the wires, and it seemed to work for several days until it didn't. Yep. Right, till it just happened. All the stars aligned, and it's like, wait a minute, it's cold as hell over here. This one ain't even on. And I said, You think you got the wires crossed? He goes, man, I ain't gonna do no shit like that. I said, you sure you don't want to check it? He's like, man, let me check. I'll call you back. Call me back. He's like, son of a bitch. He said, I had the dang things crisscrossed. I'm like, well, your name is Crisscross Applesauce. All right, so this is a voicemail I got from Cajun Joe, which when Cajun Joe calls me, it's serious. It's usually pretty serious. So I'm going to play this voicemail. This was today. Joe called me. Chris is in the background. I'm just building a picture here. Chris is in the background on a 14-SEER heat pump. And Joe just calls me. He's always got it on speaker. That way Chris can hear too, because they don't go anywhere without each other.
That's it.
And I usually immediately start talking shit to Chris, even though Joe's calling me, and Chris gets mad. So here we go. Let's see.
No LED flash, Joe. The lights are all off, which it says means no power. But I'm going to go get my fucking meters.
That's a good idea. Dennis, give me a chance, give Joe a call. We got a brand new one out the box. Don't want to run. Change the PC board. Nothing's happening.
Okay. The PC board. He drug it across.
Yeah. The PC board. So I'm thinking, damn, what are you working on? Like a Dell or a... All right, so Joe's 80, right?
81.
What is
81.
He's 81. So, of course, so it's hard to kind of hear it at first, but Chris says, I got power on it. I got no lights. The code with no lights says it ain't got no power. But I'm going to go get my fucking meter and I'm going to test it anyway. Joe said, that's a good idea. Hey, Dennis, give me a call when you get a chance. I lost it. Chris is like, that means no power, but I'm going to go get my meter anyway.
Good.
Joe's like, yep, that's what you're going to do. So I called Joe back. Of course, I know he's got me on speaker. I said, what's going on, Joe? He's like, well, first of all, I'm thinking he's working on a mini split because he said PC board, which I don't know what a PC board is. He doesn't either, but it's not a defrost board. So hey, I'm thinking, damn, he's got a damn mini split and he done changed the inverter board on it. So that's where my mind's going. So I'm already going down the wrong path. And I called him. He goes, Dennis, I got one brand new out of the box. Ain't working. I done changed the board. I said, hang on a minute. What are we even working on here? And I said, first of all, who put this system in? I said, because if Chris put it in, there's your problem. And because I knew he had me on speaker. Chris said, you son of a bitch. It ain't got nothing to do with me. He's in the background. I said, oh, there's Chris. I didn't know he was standing there near you. He's like, Dennis, he's always standing here next to me. So I said, he goes, this is a 14 SEER heat pump. I said, oh, that's all it is? Chris is like, that's all it is. And we can't get it to come on. And I said, well, okay. So he's got a defrost board. I said, you got any lights on the defrost board? Nope. Ain't got no lights.
No
and
power.
What that means is no power. I'm like, have you checked power? He's like, yes. And I said, well, where have you checked it? He's like, well, my air handler's running and my thermostat's on cool. I said, all right, well, let's take all the wires loose at the outdoor unit and see if there's power coming down to the outdoor unit. You want me to take them all loose? I said, yes. Let's take them all loose. Well, what if you trying to short my fuse out, ain't you? No, Chris, I'm not trying to short your fuse out. And then Joe goes, just spread them apart, Chris. Take them apart like he said. I mean, he's standing right over the top of him. It's awesome. Like, I mean, you can't make it up.
And all I can say is, Chris, I've been that guy. I feel your pain.
Yeah. I can picture Joe standing there with his hands in his pockets with not a tool on him. Like, do what Dennis says. Just take the damn wires apart. Joe goes, spread them open like a porcupine. That's what he said. I said, don't let them touch, Chris. I know they can't touch. I know. So then I said, all right, well, check coming from the indoor unit. Check red and common on your outdoor thermostat wire. He's like, all right. I'm telling you, I got power. I said, check it, Chris. He said, 16 volts. And I didn't say anything. He goes, that ain't enough. I said, nope, it ain't. I let him say it. He goes, why the hell do I got 16 volts out here? I said, well, you got like a splice in the wire somewhere? Well, yeah, I spliced it inside. I said,
well,
did you crisscross the wires? He said, I'm hanging up, son of a bitch. I said, I'm just saying. He's like, no, I didn't crisscross wires. I said, well, how did you splice it? He goes, well, I used butt connectors. I went,
ooh,
why did you do that? I said, why don't you just wire nut them? He said, I'll call you back. Joe's like, bye. So as soon as he hung up on me, I texted him and I said, hurry up. I get off in like an hour and a half. He flipped me the bird on the text message. I'm like, you're not going to get, I mean, this is tech support at its finest right here. So he fixed the butt connectors, didn't change anything. And I said, well, I mean, where does the wire go? He said, well, it goes in the wall, up, over the attic, up the wall. Like, I mean, he said, it's long. I don't know what it's doing. So, well, he's got 28 volts at his air handler, but he's got 16 outside. I'm like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but somewhere in between there. Yeah, something ain't working. He's like, you think I could just swap the red wire with a different color? I said, yeah, I mean, you might could try it. Maybe it's that red wire that's the problem. But so he hung up on me again. So then I'm at music bingo at like 7:00.
Jesus.
And I just text him. And I said, well, with a question mark. And I sent him a picture of my beer I just got. And he sent me another bird. He sent me a number, you're number one. And an LOL. And he tried to call me, but he didn't answer. So I don't know if it's working or not. I'm like, shit. I'll bug the shit out of him. I'll call him in the morning. He hates to call me back and tell me that something's fixed. He just wants to move on. But
he wants you to sweat about it.
I'll bug the shit out of him. Yeah.
Did it work?
I may text him right now.
With another beer photo.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the voicemail of the day. Old Cajun Joe, man. Him and Crisscross Applesauce, what a duo that is.
That is a duo. It is a duo.
They seem to be a good pair, though.
They are. They have a good time.
I mean, Chris ain't got a care in the world. Doesn't seem like, and he's pretty sharp.
Chris is sharp. He is sharper than the average redneck, I'll say that.
He, bless his heart, he does not look sharp.
Nope.
And when he opens his mouth, he's less sharp. But he knows his stuff, man.
Can't judge a book by its cover, man.
No, you can't.
We're talking about books earlier.
Right. All right, so I'm going to let you talk about
our new segment.
Our new segment that we are going to be bringing on the show every week. Maybe every week, maybe not. Just depends.
Yep.
We worked long and hard on this title.
We did. It took several rounds of throwing shit at the wall to figure this one out.
It took at least 10 minutes.
Took a few more than that, I think.
It did.
We won't sell our creativity short. Or lack thereof. Well,
no.
One of the two.
All right, so what we got?
So as everyone knows, some of our favorite things to discuss on this show are just the crazy random acts of either weird service calls, weird installs, weird homeowner stories, crazy critters. So we thought, sometimes there's stories that people don't, they don't want to admit they're the one telling the story, or they don't want to talk about, people in it. But from the outside looking in, it's still a great, hilarious story. So we thought we would, do the good work of being stewards of the HVAC and trades professions. And we would allow people to let us help bring those stories to life into the world with a new segment that we have decided to call Crawl Space Confessions.
Boom.
Now we've got we have a special correspondent Which I feel like here in the last few weeks we have a few people that are becoming the go-to special correspondents for the show, and I like actually kind of going down that road. It almost seems like we have a little mini nod to Saturday Night Live, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, our boots on the ground.
That's right, the boots on the ground. Since we're distribution guys, we've got to get a little bit of assistance from the guys in the field sometimes, because we don't spend as much time out there as we used to. Of course,
Yeah, you've almost heard all my stories.
oh, I don't
From the
I don't
field.
believe him. I do not believe him at all.
No, it's
I just have not. I have not gotten him to the certain level of drink or the certain level of gambling for him to tell me the other ones. But we're getting there.
Well,
There's
they
many.
just
there's
pop
much
into
time.
my head.
That's it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we're not recording 24/7, so sometimes they just get lost in the ether. But so we put a little video out today, searching for a little fish that might take a bite and give us a story. So we did get a story from a. I didn't ask permission if I could say who it was from, so I won't say who it was from. But if he so chooses,
Well, so that I was going to say, so let's back up. So if you send a story in on you can email us.
Yep. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Go through, follow us on Instagram, go through our link tree. You can get our email there. You can find everything you want through our link tree there. So that makes it a little bit easier. Because I'll be honest, the replies to the thing on Facebook, you really can't see the replies very well. I was actually very disappointed in that.
Well, I'm not going to see it on Facebook because I don't.
Or not
get on
Facebook,
there much.
Instagram. Sorry,
Instagram. Yeah.
wrong meta product.
Well, and let us know, right? Like, let's say you're a tech and you had something interesting happen, and you throw it on there, and you want to be on Crawl Space Confessions, and let's say you're trying to build your channel up. We will throw your name out there, if you want. You just got to let us know.
That's it.
If not, it can just be an anonymous story that we think is pretty cool. We start getting hundreds of these things in. We're going to have to find some good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. But,
and then, we might find a few that we can, this episode, we're going into this topic with these 3 stories. Eventually we can get into, some themed episodes too, which would be great. But so the story we got today, our good buddy, when he was first getting into his HVAC career, was working on, I believe, some car washes that had boiler rooms and a lot of other stuff because they had to have a lot of hot water where they were. And so, one winter day, he got a call to go to a car wash where the boiler was down, and he gets to the boiler room and walks in on a homeless guy living in the boiler room.
whoop. Hello.
And he's like, well, that was a first. And I was like, well, did anyone even know he was there? He's like, well, no. And he got really agitated when I told him he had to leave. He said by the end of it, by the time we got to the end of it, we ended up having to call the cops to have him removed from the site. And I was like, well, once again, I was like, did they have any idea he was there? He said, no, the store clerk didn't have a clue. However, a review of the closed circuit cameras pinpointed how he got in. But my question was, how long was he in there? Was he camped out for a few weeks, or did he just sneak in last night, or what level of residence are we
10 years?
talking here? I tell you, Kristen and I took her little sister. We went to a place downtown back in the spring, and we were parked in a parking deck, and we were trying to just go down the stairs so we didn't have to cross the top of the parking deck in the rain to get to the elevator. And we went to open this door, and dude, we opened it right into this homeless guy's living room, basically.
Oh.
And freaked him out, freaked us out, because he's hunkered up in the corner, chilled, kicked back on his blanket. And, we bust this door open. He's like, oh, freaking out. The 3 of us about jump over him to the to even try to go down the stairs because that was not what we were expecting to open that door to. So, I mean, you can walk in on it.
So I've always
anytime.
thought for whatever reason, if I was just by myself and I ended up in a situation like that, I would go to the woods, man. I'd be deep in the woods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Park bench ain't gonna cut it for me.
Nope.
I'm literally building like a 1,200 square foot cabin in the woods.
Out of the elements because you have nothing else to do with your time. So you're gonna.
I'm slaying some squirrels, some deer. Like I'm just gonna crush it back there. I've always, you see them, and when I was little, I was like, man, if I was in that situation, I'd be like on a creek, way back in the woods. I don't know.
Hoping that my squatter's rights came through before I got busted.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about my land.
I'm talking about deep somewhere back in there where nobody's even going to find me anyway. But
Mountain Man Wilkins.
Yeah. Rocking it. So, yeah. Crawlspace Confessions.
Share.
That was the first one.
First one. Share your stories, people. We want everyone to enjoy the fun stories of things that we've went through in this business because everybody's got something crazy. Everybody's got something crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be off the wall. All right, it could be just a service call you ran into if you want to get detailed about it. Sounds like Corey's
What's
here.
Up, Corey? I know you can't hear me, but I always have to say it.
No, he's strolling in from work. Yep, there he is. Make pizzas tonight?
No, I put pizzas in boxes tonight.
You put pizzas in boxes.
That's amore.
Pick things up and put things down. All right, good talk, bud. See you in a little bit. He smells like pizza. Now I'm hungry. Jeez.
Is it too late? Dang, it's too late. They be closed.
Too late for what?
They be closed.
To order? Oh,
They
yeah.
be
You
closed.
can't. Rhydon will straight order a pizza in a second.
Oh, God. Don't worry. I'm working on a reel that just shows how terrible my pizza addiction is. It's coming. Don't worry.
All right, let me listen to this. I think this voicemail here might be relevant, maybe not.
Nope.
Give me a second.
Yeah, hey, this is Zach. I was the guy that was at your house the other day, and I actually did piss myself. I had way too much water with a couple of Gatorades, and then right before I came in, I had a Red Bull, and I did dribble in my pants a little bit. I'm so hydrated that it doesn't smell like anything. And it's probably the osmosis underwear that I'm wearing because it filters it out through the charcoal filters and stuff like that. So, because I need to figure out a way to drink something when I don't have any water on me. So the best way to do it is just to freaking recycle it. You know what I mean? So, and I've changed my accent like 3 times I've been talking to you because I'm split personality. So call me back.
What in the hell was that?
I don't even know what that was. Yeah. Become a tech guy, they said.
Did he say he had split personalities?
Yep, he did.
Okay.
Let's see.
Making sure.
Oh, my gosh. Your dad left a message. It said 99% full.
No, geez.
Yeah, I got to go in there and clean it up, man. I don't like to erase them because I go back through and listen to what was going on. Maybe I didn't get back to them, or maybe, covering 16 stores right now. 2 states.
2 states.
And it's hot outside.
2 states.
2 states. 2 stage.
I was sitting here going, I was like, I wonder if I've got any interesting voicemails. A voicemail from today is the chick at Firestone letting me know they actually found all 4 of my tires, so I can get my new tires tomorrow. Yay. God, I need tires. So I got to drop the the Mazda off to get tires, brakes, and oil changed all tomorrow. So here's
life of a salesman. When
piss away.
When Ryan's like, I gotta go to the shop. When Ryan's like, I gotta go to the shop and get something looked at on my car, it's always a rap sheet when he comes back.
It never fails. Like when I go, I give them the business.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm getting new tires, brakes, hood, trunk, wiper motor. Yeah, I'm getting it detailed.
That it definitely needs. Jesus,
gas.
Poor thing needs a detail.
Oh man, remember that time we went through the car wash?
Yeah, and I had to go through it again.
You went through it again, and then we went to dry it off, and you're like,
Jesus.
Oh wow, it was like taking paint off. Like, what color is your car?
It's black.
No, it's black, all right.
Yeah. It is well protected by a layer of road grime. I'll admit, that set of tires I've had on that thing were a good set of tires. I used to always use Bridgestone Duelers is what I've had on. It's what I had on my last two SUVs, and then I had little Bridgestones on my. I had a Hyundai Accent. Yeah, that was a rough adjustment. That was a hard sales car to get used to. Now, it actually amazingly had way more room in it than you would think, but it was, after a little while, it was just not comfortable. I had to go back to an SUV. But dude,
I think you need to go full electric, man. So,
dude, I swear,
this is what I want to know.
Get ran over by an electric car before my life is over, or that's how I'm gonna end it, because I won't hear the damn thing coming because I can't hear anything. Yep.
My buddy pulled up in his brand new Mach-E Mustang, and all I could hear was the gravel under the tires. Just,
God, I can't stand those.
And I'm like, all right, man, we'll have a good one. He's like, all right. And he's like,
it doesn't even sound like that. It's just like, it's just like air.
I literally, all I could hear was gravel under his tires, like my golf cart. He's like, man, this thing's peppy. I'm like, I don't care.
It doesn't sound like it's peppy.
No. When you say something's peppy, you're putting like 115 octane in it.
Or we're talking about LePew.
I want to smell it. Right. So I'm curious, right? And my buddy, he's trying to do his part, man. He's that guy. If they say, look, more people just need to get electric cars, he's just going to go out and get one. He's doing his part. But they say when you're charging an electric car, depending on the brand, it's like running 13 or 14 or whatever it was, like refrigerators.
Yeah.
As far as like small compressor, like what power they pull. So let's just say everybody just at night just plugged in their electric car. What's going to happen there? And I'm not trying to fight it. I'm just talking facts.
Yep.
Like, is that going to crank the grid up?
That's going to clog the grid up is what it's going to do.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something's got to be cranked up there. And then my other buddy, we were talking about the same thing, and he's like, yeah, they did a study, a new, what is it? Like a new,
Tesla?
No. A Ford Raptor with the V6. They just used it, drove to California and back from, East Coast, West Coast turnaround.
Yep.
It emitted the same emissions as a leaf blower running for 30 minutes or something. It was something like that. It was like, what? That's nothing.
Yeah.
It was kind of, there's all kind of stuff online like that if you read into it.
Oh no,
But
it's
anyway.
all a lot of it. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, man.
I mean, where does the power come from? And I know we've talked about this
Yeah.
on here, but to charge that car, it's got to come
from somewhere, and something's got to generate that energy.
Yeah, and it's a
And
fossil
it's a
fuel.
fossil fuel
something.
of some sort. And they don't want to build more nuclear power, even though it's
Well, and I'm all for
it's
like
proven that they can do it clean
something
and the right
else.
way.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Solar isn't. It's not the short-term future. Now, I think that they will be able to continue to create panels that are more and more efficient. But I don't think we're there yet.
I'm the put the Hellcat motor in the minivan.
I was so
guy.
getting ready to say that earlier. I was like, yeah, I'll take my my V8 and my minivan, thanks. My 800 horsepower family Wagoneer.
Yeah, I mean my truck when I'm on the highway, it's getting 22, and I'm stoked.
Dude, that's not bad. Shit, I mean,
No,
I'm not getting
5.0.
a ton better than that. I'm getting like 28, 30, and I'm in a freaking 4-cylinder.
Right.
You know, so. Which I'll admit, honestly, that Mazda 4-cylinder is probably one of the best engines I've had in an SUV. Now, we had a Hyundai Santa Fe that had a really good V6 in it. That was a good SUV.
Right.
I wish we'd kept that thing. I wish we'd kept that thing. It was nice. Nothing.
All right, so we were gonna do a short show tonight,
Rabbit hole.
and we're not bad.
No, not too
It's
bad.
not- I feel like we got to put a short one out every once in a while. So do you want to? We got to start doing this.
Yep.
Just for the heck of it, right?
Yep.
We got to start plugging our where you can find us at.
Yep. Gotta be better
at
about
the end
that.
of each show.
We used to do that all the time, and I've gotten so into my shameless self promo at the beginning about the swag shop that I forget to go into all the rest of it. Which, by the way, the new order of hats is supposed to ship next week, so we should have a nice, fresh new load of hats in the swag store, as well as the new flat bills.
Stickers. Yeah.
Nope, stickers are next. Hats will be here first, and then we got some stuff for us for some things coming up that should be shipping next week too. Excited for that.
Right.
A lot of cool big things happening.
AHR's coming, folks.
It is coming. I
feel like it could be here.
Speaking of things coming up, also, before I forget, actually, I'm rabbit holing again, everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure to go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Untapped. I've started that one. Haven't gotten hugely into it, but it's there because HVAC brew of the week. So got to throw it up on there as we can.
Yep.
And then I know there's some stuff coming up from our boys at EGIA. I know we haven't talked about them here in a month or so. Lucas has been very busy getting a lot of cool marketing things set up for them for all the different webinars and stuff they have coming. But we do have a discount code for the Lead 2023 conference, which now I'm trying to find it. I can't remember where I stuck the stupid thing. Cue the Jeopardy music. Here we go.
I like the jazz elevator.
Yes. So yeah, the Lead 2022 is a virtual leadership summit, September 20th, 21st of this year. Mr. Bill Walton is the opening keynote speaker, but it's a virtual free event. And it is really just about leaders for the home service companies. Don't miss a powerful business leadership presentation from some of the most acclaimed experts in the contracting industry, along with an unforgettable keynote address by legendary basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton on the leadership lessons he learned firsthand from some of sports' greatest coaches. On behalf of HVAC R&D, you can now register for this event for absolutely no cost, which is normally $99 a person. Just simply register at lead2022event.com using promo code HVACRD100 so that you and your whole team can get access to this can't miss leadership lessons and help propel your business to new heights. So on Tuesday, you get Bill Walton, and as well as Gary Elks and Weldon Long, and then Russ Horrocks. And then Wednesday is Steve Schallenberger, James Lecter, and Susan Frew. So there's a lot of interesting stuff coming up on there. Like I said, use this code from us. You can sign up for free. So, one of the things we constantly talk about is sign up for stuff. Knowledge is king. When you get an opportunity to hear some of these people that have been there and done it, some in our industry, some out. But to do something like that for free, go do it, man, if you got time. Or if someone in the office can do it.
If you get one thing.
Yeah, get something.
You get one thing from it. That's all you need.
That's it. So, get something from it. And once again, that's lead2022event.com, promo code HVACRND100.
Nice. Good job. You crushed that.
Yeah, once I found it.
And as always, I don't know when Sarah's going to put out one, but go ahead and catch up on all her shows currently. The Women Behind the Wrench.
And if you go ask her when the next show is. We'll see if we can help push her a little bit, get her to it.
Oh yeah, it's happening. I wonder if she's going to do a guest or if she's going to go by herself. Going to ride solo on the first the comeback story.
I don't know. I think a solo comeback could be nice.
Of course, you always got Gary with HVAC Know-It-All.
Yep.
Constantly pumping out some material.
Yep, there's a little stuff we're working on with him as well, so stay tuned for some stuff there, hopefully.
HVAC Uncensored.
Yep. Our boy Gil.
He's got some Instagram stuff too. He throws out there. Josh Zolan, Blue is the New White.
Yep,
I've been listening to them a little bit.
Still working to catch up on some of those. So yeah, there's so much knowledge and information out there. Not trying to.
I get stuck on the foreplay.
Yep, Dennis gets stuck on foreplay.
Golf putt, yeah. I know.
Hey, it happens. I get stuck on F1 checkered flag. I have those. It's summertime, so I'm not listening to my Premier League podcast. So I've been trying to fill that gap.
Soccer ads.
Stuff. Yep. That was it for a long time. That was the Twitter handle forever when I was a managing editor and when I was writing for Bleacher Report and Squawka and some of those people back in the day. I was weirdly an internationally read sports writer before I started this stuff, which is funny to think about.
It is. It's cool. I like it.
And that's no joke. You can go back. If anybody ever wants to find some of the old stuff, I'll send it to you. It's funny.
All right. Well, so we're going to wrap it up. And we've got next week. Guests.
Well, hell, you're traveling next week.
I am traveling, so we may not have a guest.
We were supposed to we were supposed to have a guest this week and next week, but technical difficulties and work travel is changing a little bit of
unforeseen traveling. Yep.
But those things pop up. That's what happens. Good thing is we've got a great community of friends and people that we work with, so we'll get them moved around and won't skip a beat.
Well, we try to do the old hotel recording.
Yep. Dennis will be mounting his microphone up on the trash can again so he can get it the right level. Well, no,
Right.
no,
I may have bought me a tripod.
Did you buy a tripod, or are you going to take the Yeti?
A little tiny. Well, I'll see. Yeah, I got to try to get all this in a suit, little tiny carry-on bag.
Let's put it in the Dracula bag with the golf clubs.
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing golf where I'm going, and I bought me a Samsonite hard shell travel bag for my golf clubs, and it's black. It looks like a little mini coffin. It's about 50 inches tall, and when you open it up, the whole inside is like red velvet. It's the creepiest looking shit you've ever seen.
I want to suck your blood.
My dad said it looks like Little Drax coffin.
That's hilarious.
I opened it up, and Tracy's like, "Oh God, that's creepy looking." I'm gonna have to post it. Yeah, it's a little much. It's jet black outside, and the whole inside's just bright red. It's kind of weird, but
that's hilarious.
So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. As always, and we'll see y'all next time.
Take it easy, everybody. Have a good week.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses.